Welcome to First Parish Unitarian Universalist of Medfield. We're so pleased you all can be with us this morning, and welcome, of course, to all of you who are streaming in from home. We hope you will all join us following the service downstairs for our social hour. Friends, this congregation first gathered in 1651, settling here on this land that was and is still now the homeland of the Nipmuc Nation, who inhabited this area for thousands of years. And while we realize that we cannot undo the harm that has already been caused to the Nipmuc, we here at First Parish strive to prevent further harm and to find ways we might support our Indigenous neighbors as our faith calls us to do. Our social justice incubator has put together a document you will see for ways to help. You'll find this link in your order of service. So friends, holding all of this in our hearts, we welcome you to this place. Here we search for truth and understanding. Here we celebrate life and we contemplate its mysteries. Here we share healing and wholeness. So whoever you are, wherever you're from, whatever you believe, whomever you love, we welcome you to this congregation. In the words of my UU colleague, the Reverend Mark Roble, who serves our congregation in Wesley Hills, welcome to those of you who are single, married, divorced, it's complicated, gay, filthy rich, dirt poor, or no habla inglés. If there is a place for you, if you are over 60 but not yet grown, or if you're a teenager growing up way too fast, we welcome all the soccer moms, the football dads, the Red Sox fans, the Yankee fans, starving artists, tree huggers, those in recovery, and those who are still addicted. We welcome you if you sing like Pavarotti or can't carry a note in a bucket. You're welcome here if you're just browsing, you just got bored at a bus stop, you just woke up or just got out of jail. We don't care if it's your first Sunday at church or whether you've been to church more times than the Pope. We welcome you if you're having problems or feeling overwhelmed or if you don't like organized religion. If you're looking for a fresh start, a fresh cup of coffee, or a hug from a new friend, then there's a place here for you. We welcome those who are wearing church clothes and those of you wearing your only clothes. We're so glad to see those that are inked, pierced, or both, those who could use a prayer right about now, those who haven't been to church since Aunt Mary's funeral, and those who got lost in traffic and wound up here by mistake. We welcome seekers and doubters, bleeding hearts and jaded cynics. We welcome the lost, the found, and you. Come, let us worship together.
Today's chalice reading is Determined Seed by Laura Wallace. As frozen earth holds the determined seed, this sacred space holds our weariness, our worry, our laughter, and our celebration. As we light our chalice this morning, let us bring seed and soul into the light of thought, the warmth of community, and the hope of love.
Big special welcome to our guest musicians this morning. Welcome to Paul Lutz, who will be playing the upright bass, and Colin O'Day, who will be singing and playing guitar, and Eva Kendrick, obviously, who we know will be joining them on piano. So thank you for making the trip out from Quincy this morning on a snowy day.
The moon is broken, the sky is cracked. Come on up to the house. The only things you can see or all that you lack. Come on up to the house. All your crying won't do no good. Come on up to the house. Come down off the cross. We could use the wood. Better come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. The world is not my home, I'm just passing through. Gotta come on up to the house. There's no light in the tunnel, no irons in the fire. Come on up to the house. When you're singing lead soprano in a junk man's choir, come on up to the house. Does life seem nasty and brutish and short? Come on up to the house. The seas are stormy when you can't find a port. Come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. The world is not my home, I'm just passing through. Come on up to the house. There's nothing in this world that you can do. Gotta come on up to the house. And you've been whipped by the forces that are inside of you. Gotta come on up to the house. You're high on top of a mountain of woe. Well, come on up to the house. You know you should surrender, but you can't let go. Well, come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. The world is not my home, I'm just passing through it. Come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. Come on up to the house.
Wow. Yeah, you can clap. Thank you. Wow. We'll hear more from them in a bit. But now I'd invite forward Don Rolfe, one of the co-chairs of our annual fund drive committee, to say a few words.
Well, it was expected that Mary and I would be up here as co-chairs of the annual fund drive. We got an email this morning that Mary's niece has gone into labor, and she's the labor coach. In spite of that, she came in this morning to do a little cleanup after the church, and I chewed her out for that because I was silly. She should go being the church. These are trying times for people with beliefs such as ours. When I woke up yesterday morning to find we're at war with Iran, I went, huh? I literally went, huh? One of the things that sustains our hope through these times is this congregation, which supports everyone. And therefore, in fact, our theme for this AFD is sustaining hope. There are three things that keep this place going. That's you being here. That's what you do. But the third thing that has to happen if we're going to succeed is we have to be able to support this place. And the annual fund drive is the process by which we get the funding to support this place. I see in our audience we have Duncan, who organized last night's dinner. We have George. We have Allison, who is going to be one of the AFD leads, and I don't think any of the other AFD leads here, but what's going to happen is over the course of the next month, probably within the next week or so actually, every one of you will be reached out to by one of these people and asked to make a pledge for this year. We hope that you will be generous, because the more generous you are, the more things we can do with this congregation. We've got about 41 potential pledge units. We have a goal of $135,000. And as we start, we will add a new person to this for every pledge unit that comes in. So far, the leadership of this community has put in $76,000 towards that $135,000. We're well over halfway there. The rest is now up to the congregation. So we hope you'll be generous with moving forward, and each service will track how we're doing, where our real goal is to fill in this entire front of the church, which memorializes the annual photographs we used to take every year for this church. Thank you so much. We hope you'll be generous.
Thank you, Don, and thank you all in advance for your generosity. Now I'd invite you all to stand as you're willing and able. We will be reading in unison our congregational covenants, which you'll find printed on the last page of your order of service. And this morning we'll be reading lines 1, 2, and 8. Love is the foundation and spirit of our congregation, and we declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity. As people of goodwill, we covenant with one another to be generous in spirit and give of our time, talent, and treasure. Please remain standing for our opening hymn, Gather the Spirit. It's number 347 in your gray hymnal. may be seated. Please join me now in a spirit of prayer and meditation. O Spirit of life, Spirit of love, God of many names and of no name at all, be with us here now. Help us to calm our busy minds and hearts. Remind us to feel our breath, to take a moment to feel our bodies, to check in with ourselves to see how we're feeling right now. This morning, so many of us come with many feelings. This morning, we pray for all those who have been killed in the recent strikes by the U.S. and Israel on Iran. We pray for their families, for their children. Pray for the leaders on all sides of this conflict to listen, to stop, to appeal to their better angels. We pray that we may be able to do better, that we may learn to use our words instead of our fists. And we might find ways to negotiate and compromise and talk instead of using bombs and missiles and guns to dominate others into submission. Right now, this violence is happening in our name, harming those who bravely serve in the militaries of the U.S., of Israel, and Iran, harming innocent civilians who simply want to go about their daily lives in peace. Help us to look past our anger and resentment and pain. And remember that at the core of our Unitarian Universalist faith is the very challenging notion that every person is inherently worthy, that all of us have the right to flourish with dignity. Whether that person is you, me, your neighbor, Donald Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, or the recently killed Supreme Leader of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. All are worthy of love because it's the core of who we are, all of us. Let's hold all this into our hearts as we enter into this time of silent meditation. Amen. Well, now I'd invite forward John and Ben Bird to share with us the morning's story.
The Parable of the Life-Saving Station by Brent Hunter. On a dangerous seacoast where shipwrecks often occur, there was once a crude little life-saving station. The building was just a hut, and there was only one boat. But the few devoted members kept a constant watch over the sea. And with no thought for themselves, they went out day or night tirelessly searching for the lost. Many lives were saved by this wonderful little station, so that it became famous. Some of those who were saved, and various others in the surrounding areas, wanted to become associated with the station and give their time and money and effort for the support of its work. New boats were bought and new crews were trained. The little life-saving station grew. Some of the new members of the life-saving station were unhappy that the building was so crude and poorly equipped. They felt that a more comfortable place should be provided as the first refuge of those saved from sea. They replaced the emergency cots with beds and put better furniture in an enlarged building. Now the life-saving station became a popular gathering place for its members, and they redecorated it beautifully and furnished it as a sort of club. Less of the members were now interested in going to sea on life-saving missions, so they hired lifeboat crews to do this work. The mission of life-saving was still given lip service, but most were too busy or lacked the necessary commitment to take part in the life-saving activities personally. About this time, a large ship wrecked off the coast, and the hired crew brought in boatloads of cold, wet, and half-drowned people. They were dirty and sick. Some had skin of a different color. Some spoke a strange language, and the beautiful new club was considerably messed up. So the property committee immediately had a shower house built outside the club where victims of shipwreck could be cleaned up before coming inside. At the next meeting, there was a split in the club membership. Most of the members wanted to stop the club's life-saving activities as being unpleasant and a hindrance to the normal pattern of the club. But some members insisted that life-saving was their primary purpose and pointed out that they were still called a life-saving station. But they were finally voted down and told that if they wanted to save the life of all various kinds of people who were shipwrecked in those waters, they could begin their own life-saving station down the coast. They did. As the years went by, the new station experienced the same changes that had occurred in the old. They evolved into a club, and yet another life station was founded. If you visit the seacoast today, you'll find a number of exclusive clubs along that shore. Shipwrecks are still frequent in those waters, but now most people drown.
Thank you, John and Ben. Appreciate that. Well, now we'll invite up again Colin, Paul, and Eva to play another one of Tom Waits' songs. This is You Can Never Hold Back Spring.
You can never hold back spring. You can be sure I will never stop believing. A blushing rose, it will climb. Spring ahead or fall behind. Winter dreams the same dream every time. Oh, you can never hold back spring. Even though you've lost your way, the world is dreaming, dreaming of spring. So close your eyes and open your heart to the one who's dreaming of you. You can never hold back spring. Remember everything that spring can bring. Baby, you can never hold back spring. You can never hold back spring.
Thank you. What a blessing to have the gift of music. You know, a few weeks ago when I dubbed this service, You Can Never Hold Back Spring, who knew that a blizzard would drop over 2 feet of snow just a few days ago? Who knew that it would be snowing right now? But you know, even so, if we look at our calendar, we do realize that this is actually March 1st, and despite all the snow and the cold, spring is not far away. Now, as we just heard the words of Tom Waits, the blushing rose will climb, spring ahead or fall behind. Winter dreams the same dream every time. You can never hold back spring. You know, I know for many of us, this winter has been long and cold and difficult, one that has filled many of us with feelings of grief, of depression, of loneliness, and unimaginable loss. You know, during a recent conversation with a First Parish member, we talked about how important this congregation has been, especially when times are hard. He said he wants this congregation to be a place where it is safe to express all emotions, not just the happy ones, not just the positive ones, the ones that make everyone feel good, but all of them, the whole range of emotions. Even if it's anger or fear or despair. You know, a church community needs to be able to hold all of it, he said. And so we do. We do because we know that this is real. This is an honest reflection of all of life in all its fullness. You know, I remember as a child growing up in Manchester, Connecticut, one of my earliest memories that I have of maybe a 4-year-old, I remember holding my mom's hands and carefully walking through a construction site, which was to become the new meeting house of Unitarian Universalist Society East. You know, I clearly remember the faces of those members of the church. They were swinging hammers and hauling bags of cement and laughing and singing, dripping sweat. And I remember as a young child being in awe of the massive undertaking that was happening before my eyes. I didn't quite understand all of what was happening, but I learned that they were building a church. This building became my childhood church. It became a center for our community. It was the home that the congregation had never had before. Prior to this, the congregation actually would worship in people's living rooms or in a rented space downtown. But now we finally had a space of our own. I remember walking into this place each morning, being greeted by people who I knew, I loved, adults who I may not know, but they knew me and they cared for me. I remember playing out back at the church, after church, in the woods, getting all muddy with my buddies. I remember making those candles that you pour into holes in the ground in the sand, and you put a wick in. I remember making tie-dye t-shirts during RE classes with all of these old hippies. I remember Saturday night church square dances when the grown-ups would laugh and dance and have too much fun. But, more than anything, I remember that sense of love. This was the product of years of hard work. This congregation wasn't rich. They had to cough up more and more money each year as the building campaign went on. It was a real financial burden. I later learned that's why they were actually there doing the work themselves, giving up another weekend to go hang drywall. But yet after that meeting house was complete, we were worshiping together in this divine space. There was a pride in the faces of the congregation that was palpable. I remember occasionally one of us kids would make a mess and spill something, and we'd get admonished. Immediately say, you're going to clean that up because I laid that floorboard and you're not going to have it be stained. All of this was coming from love. We knew that this was truly a community of people who cared deeply for one another, and they wanted to preserve that home into the future. That sense of community has stuck with me my entire life. See, our UU congregations are places where all are welcome, where all are accepted who they are, where all are loved. And these places truly are life-saving stations. So here we are in this beautiful life-saving station built in 1789. For many of us here in this faith community, it's a place that we come to over and over because it feeds our souls. It's a place that can take our breath away as we come into, can help to recharge our batteries so that we can face another hard week. In a lot of ways, it saves our lives over and over. Now, just a word of explanation for those of you who might be new to the congregation, have never witnessed a fund drive kickoff. As Don mentioned, the congregation has financial needs for the coming fiscal year, and we are asking members to make a pledge of financial support. So if you come to worship on Sunday mornings, if you have children in our religious exploration program, if you have youth, part of our coming of age program, Our Whole Lives, or our neighboring faith programs, we'd ask that you would consider making a pledge of support so that we can continue to provide worship services and programming for children, youth, and adults. If you've taken part in any of our discussion-based support groups or called on the ministry of this church in some way, we'd also like your financial support. If you're relieved that there is a progressive religious community right here in Medfield that is consistent with your understandings and your beliefs, then we ask to do your part in helping to keep this religious community financially viable so that it will survive, so that this little life-saving station will survive. In the story we heard from Ben and John this morning, the parable of the life-saving station, we hear of this small group of people who became famous rescuing those who were lost at sea. And as the word spread, more and more and more people joined the life-saving station, wanting to help one another. But as so often happens when any group of people get together, people all have their own opinions and preferences and points of view. So, of course, they argued. We want to make this place more comfortable. No, we need more rowboats. No, I think the curtains should be red. And on it went. I know some of us have been in committee meetings where we've heard similar conversations where we may sometimes forget why we're really here. I know I have. Well, on that little life-saving station, those who felt that it was their responsibility to save the people who were drowning, well, as the story goes, they were voted down. And eventually, those people left. They started their own life-saving station down the shore. And those who remained, instead of going out themselves and rescuing people, they used their money to hire others to do this messy work for them. For who wants to get all messy and dirty, pulling people out of the sea? So they renovated their station with all the finest money can buy. They built a shower outside to clean up those poor souls who had just been rescued, for we wouldn't want to track mud in on our new carpet. Eventually, they decided that life-saving just really wasn't their thing. They'd rather sit around their luxurious new club drinking champagne and eating fine food. And where they sat, they could barely even hear the cries of those who were drowning. This story strikes a nerve with me because I believe in some ways it's a story that is a mirror of our Unitarian Universalist faith, and perhaps even our First Parish community at times. In very blunt terms, it calls out hypocrisy and entitlement. While we use claim that we work against injustice and oppression, the reality is that sometimes we're so comfortable in our own communities that helping others outside the congregation sometimes becomes an afterthought. But let me first acknowledge that our time together here on Sunday mornings isn't the time to save the world. We come to this congregation to find spiritual connection with one another. We come here to question, to search, to seek out the divine. We come to church to feed our very souls. But see, here's the thing. We all feed our souls in different ways. Some do this through prayer and meditation. Some do this in deep conversation with a good friend. Some do this through raising our voices in song. And some feed their souls by hauling bags of potatoes out at a local food pantry. Some do this by lobbying our legislatures to enact positive environmental policy, or by mentoring a child who needs help just passing the SAT, or by sitting with a prisoner who just needs someone to understand that he is so much more than the worst thing he's ever done. Some do this by sitting with our neighbors in beloved silence. We all have different gifts and contributions that we bring here. So I'd encourage you to let us fully support one another and the reasons why we choose to be part of this wonderful congregation, so that we can lean more into the work of doing the hard work of social justice, of environmental justice, of creating more equity, more inclusion, more generosity in this broken world of ours. For if we don't, as the parable of the life-saving station warns us, people will leave and find another life-saving station. So today we are asking you to pledge your financial support to help maintain this congregation that we love. For this place, for so long, in one way or another, saves our lives every day. So may it be. Amen. Now I'd invite Don Rolfe forward again to introduce the morning's offering.
Well, we've talked a lot about sustaining this congregation, making sure it's a place that can sustain our hope. As part of the offering, we will be splitting it with the food pantries in an effort to reach out to others and sustain the hope of those who are short of food. We hope you'll be generous during the offering.
Please rise in body or in spirit for our closing hymn. One More Step. It's number 168 in your gray hymnal. Friends, as we prepare to go out into the world, I leave with the words of the 14th Dalai Lama. It is our collective and individual responsibility to preserve and tend to the world in which we all live. Friends, go in peace, go in justice, go in love. I will now extinguish our chalice, but may its light and warmth Stay with us until we meet again. Here ends our worship. Let our service begin. And now, as a special introduction for our postlude, they're going to be playing the Tom Waits song, Make It Rain.
And as rain is required to sustain the world around us, we hope that during AFD you will make it rain so we can sustain the congregation.
Make it rain.
Took all my money, my best friend. You know the story, here it comes again. I have no pride, and I have no shame. Come on and make it rain, make it rain. Since you're gone, deep inside it hurts. I'm just a sad guest on this dark earth. I wanna believe in the mercy of the world again. Make it rain, yeah, make it rain. Nights too quiet, stretched out alone, beneath the whip of the thunder and the wind's dark moan. I'm not able, yeah, I'm just came. Open up the heavens, make it rain. Close to heaven, crushed at the gate. They sharpen their knives on my mistakes. What they've done, you can't give it a name. You gotta make it rain, make it rain. But her love, without a kiss, hell can't burn me any more than this. Oh, I'm burning with all this pain. Put out the fire, make it rain. Born to trouble, born to fade. Inside a promise, can't escape. It's the same old world, but nothing looks the same. Come on and make it rain, 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 make it rain. Thank you.